From Interior Alaska's most trusted news source, this is the Fbx Evening News.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us. I'm Daryl Clark. Stephanie Woodard is on assignment. Our top story, Fort Wainwright is currently experiencing a post-wide power outage and access to the installation is limited. Now, people are urged to conserve heat by keeping doors and windows closed. They should also be aware that traffic lights are not working. We have also received reports of outages along the Johansson Expressway, on Geist Road, up Chena Ridge, and in North Pole. A jury has been selected, and today marked the beginning of the first in a series of trials related to the murder of 2 Alaska State Troopers. Stephanie Woodard is in Nenana and has this report.
Opening arguments were followed by emotional testimony today in Nenana about the death of 2 Alaska State Troopers and what happened shortly after.
I still remember the state trooper reaching out.
Okay, what happened?
And I just went over, but there was nothing I could do for him.
A judge ruled early this morning that Arvin Kangas could face the maximum sentence due to aggravators found in the case, making it the most serious. 4 witnesses took to the stand to testify about events that happened in Tanana on May 1st.
And Sergeant Johnson had his back to the door, and the forward motion of Arvin trying to get away from Sergeant Johnson and myself, we fell through the door. It wasn't locked or anything, and we went right through the door, and we ended up on the kitchen floor.
Also unveiled in opening arguments was that a recording allegedly caught both the murder and the events that led to Arvin Kangas being charged with tampering with physical evidence.
And what the people in this house didn't know is that despite being dead, Sergeant Johnson and Trooper Rich continued to collect evidence.
Those tapes allegedly show Arvin Kangas and his son Nathaniel Kangas manipulated both the bodies and weapons of the Alaska State Troopers just minutes after they had been killed. The troopers had come to arrest Arvin, who the VPSO said refused to comply and fought troopers in the doorway of his home.
I don't know where Nathaniel shot from, but all of a sudden Nathaniel's standing in front of me, pointing a gun at my head. And he's saying something to me, but I just honestly can't remember what he said to me.
It was the look on his face, because previously that was the same look I got when he chalked my mom's door down. And that was the look like I knew there was something wrong with my son.
I'm Stephanie Woodard reporting from Nenana.
A 24-year-old Anchorage man has been charged with a rape. According to court documents, Nolan Youngman faces 2 counts of felony sexual assault following an incident on April 5th. He was arraigned in Fairbanks courtroom yesterday. According to UAF police, the alleged assault occurred at the Cutler Apartments on campus. Youngman is scheduled to appear in court for a preliminary hearing on April 24th. Youngman played in 120 hockey games and scored 17 points for the Alaska hockey program. He just finished his senior year with the Nanooks. The Republican-led Alaska legislature appears to be on collision course with independent Governor Bill Walker as the 90-day legislative session is scheduled to end on Sunday. But will it? Yesterday, the governor called to convene the legislature into a joint session tomorrow morning for confirmation votes on his appointees for state commissioners, boards, and commissions. The House and Senate responded today by agreeing to meet in a joint session on Sunday. Senate leadership expressed disappointment in the governor's plan to veto House Bill 132, designed to strengthen the state's commitment to the Alaska LNG project. Walker confirmed today that he will indeed veto that bill. The governor also held a rally to support Medicaid expansion in Alaska, which he included in his original budget proposal. That money was stripped by the House. Legislators then requested a bill on expansion, which Walker submitted in March. The bill hasn't moved, and the governor suggested today that he will call for an extended session in order for the House and Senate to act on his bill.
If they run out of time and it's not been addressed and they don't extend their own time to address that, then we'll put more time on the clock.
You'll call a special session.
At this point, that's my opinion based on where we are today.
University of Alaska Fairbanks Chancellor Brian Rogers announced by way of social media this afternoon that he plans to retire in August. In the Facebook post and in an email to the university, he said the stress of major education budget cuts is taking a toll on his health. Rogers said that he informed University System President Pat Gamble of his intentions this morning. He said that the budget cuts, NCAA rules violations, and other issues are what caused him to make the decision. Rogers said he has been associated with the university for 45 years, ever since he came here as a transfer student. And when we come back, tonight on Fairbanks Flavor, we'll show you how to make a world-class cheesesteak sandwich. Also, last night at the Denali Center, senior citizens turned back the clock and relived their, pardon the pun, senior prom. Those stories and more when we return. And welcome back. Emergency response teams and security forces at Fort Wainwright are hard at work this week training during Arctic Thaw 2015. The event is an annual exercise that involves installations throughout the post. Ryan Grimes was there during one test yesterday and has the details.
Soldiers and emergency responders at Fort Wainwright are participating in Arctic Thaw 2015 this week, an anti-terrorism and crisis management exercise.
The scene is at Ladd Airfield, located on post. 6 response teams skilled in firefighting and security management are simulating a crashed aircraft with only rough details given to them.
We got that initial information through Ladd Air Tower, and we knew that prior to our arrival to the emergency site for this exercise, we were going to find at least 12 souls on board. It ended up being a little bit higher than that. 14 bodies is what we're working with right now.
The mock bodies are participants from the U.S. Army Alaska Stryker Brigade combat team.
I enjoy being here to help out our brigade, help out the Arctic Warriors. I think it's a good thing, honored to play out. So I'm going to play a casualty that has taking an abdomen wound, a deep laceration to the liver, and try to play that out, help these guys up.
Firefighters and medics were evaluated by emergency response professionals outside Alaska. Assistant Chief Amos says the results told to him by his peers were positive.
We had really good communications throughout the whole incident. Other than being delayed on our exercise response due to real-world aircraft mission, everything else has been going by the numbers, just like we practice each and every month.
Arctic Thaw 2015 is set to end this Friday.
This is Ryan Grimes reporting from Fort Wainwright.
Seniors put on their dancing shoes and hit the floor last night for prom at the Denali Center. The dance was Hollywood themed and included live music from years past. The band played hits by Elvis and other pop icons from the early days of rock and roll, and organizers handed out many Oscar awards to the center's most distinguished members. Family and friends of the Denali residents also stopped by to celebrate, and various groups from the community joined in on the fun as well. The Alaskan Annex hockey team, Eielson ROTC, and the Lathrop dance team all helped out with the event. Isabel Galinas lives at the Denali Center and says she was impressed by everyone who pitched in to help make the evening special.
It's just amazing how many people and how well people come out and want to help get things organized and work so that we will have it done.
It's time for our weekly cooking segment with Lisa Gambardella. Today she'll show us how to make a homemade cheesesteak sandwich.
Hello, welcome to Fairbanks Flavor. I'm Lisa Gambardella, and we're downtown at our restaurant at Gambardella's Pasta Bella in Fairbanks, Alaska, making a delicious cheesesteak today. Starting out with a hot pan, little olive oil, and those peppers and onions need to cook a long time before you put the meat in. So I've got some that are pre-cooked. Looks delicious already. Add in your thinly sliced beef. Wow, look at that. Now you don't need to cook the beef a lot. You want it nice and juicy. Once it sticks to the pan a little bit, you're going to deglaze it with some water and wine. Get those good flavors out of there. Makes it nice and juicy. And let's jump ahead here and look at our finished product. I'm going to put some cubes of cream cheese in there. Ooh, that is going to be so delicious. Let that melt. I'm going to top it with some provolone cheese. Lots of delicious flavor. Oh, look at that. And of course, our delicious homemade bread. So you're going to load that on that sandwich, have it with a delicious frothy beer. We'll make it for you and make it at home. See our recipes at webcenter11.com. This has been Fairbanks Flavor at Gambardella's.
Brought to you by Gambardella's Pasta Bella.
I love a good cheesesteak, but I
Yeah.
haven't heard of one that has cream cheese.
Cream cheese in it,
so-
or wine either. Too.
Yeah, the wine. That's very intriguing. I'm going to stop by and
Yeah,
check that out.
yeah. That just I'm salivating here. So let's go and transition to sports. What's going on tonight?
Well, the Ice Dogs, they could wrap up their playoff series this weekend, and a 3-sport star at Lathrop signed a national letter of intent today. Those sports stories and more after the break. Welcome back, Interior Alaska. Joe Cook here with your Thursday Sportscast. We start with NHL Playoff hockey this weekend. More specifically on Friday, the Midwest Division Finals could be set. The Fairbanks Ice Dogs are in position to sweep their semifinal round over the Minnesota Magicians. The Coulee Region Chill are up 2-0 over the Minnesota Wilderness. Fairbanks has a commanding advantage in the series after winning 5-4 overtime in the thriller. In Game 1, they shut out the Mags 4-0 in Game 2. Now, the defending Robinson Cup champions, they have just been overwhelming. They've outshot Minnesota 105-61 in the past 2 games and held them to single-digit shots in 3 periods. Minnesota will play desperate with their season on the line and the home ice advantage. The Ice Dogs have been in a similar situation last year, and they want to make sure this first playoff series isn't extended. It'll be important to their playoff run.
I think it's big to finish them off here on Friday, get it over with. It's more rest for us. It's more time to prepare. And we don't want to drag out a 5-game series like we did last year. You know, in the first 2 rounds, we went to overtime in Game 5, and definitely take the toll on your bodies. We probably won't have the home ice if we make it to the semifinals. The best of 3s. So it's big that we're rested for that because we're probably going to have to be the team that travels this year.
Traveling is what it is. We've been doing it all season long. We'll be okay. We'll get some rest when we get down there, and we're ready for an intense Game 3 for sure.
The signing period continues for local athletes, and today Lathrop's Allison Hebert signed her national letter of intent. Hebert will run track for the Thunderwolves of Colorado State University Pueblo. It's a young Division II squad whose head coach Matt Morris is actually a former Lathrop skier and runner from the class of 1988. Hebert's Letterman jacket is completely covered. She's qualified for state in skiing, cross country, and track and field all 4 years at Lathrop, earning 12 letters. She's second all-time to 800 meters for Lathrop and is a 2-time region champion in the 800 and was a Wendy's High School Heisman State finalist. Despite interest from UAA and Western Washington, she likes the challenge that CSU Pueblo presents.
I've never been able to chase a pack. I've always kind of been at the beginning of it, and so I'm super excited to kind of come in at the bottom and be able to work my way up because I've never really had to do that. So I'm actually really looking forward to just working really, really hard and kind of trying to get up there.
Colorado, most everything there is at altitude, so she's going to have the adjustment to altitude to deal with, but I think she's going into that with her eyes wide open, and I'll be excited to see where she ends up.
We continue our interior soccer season preview. We'll see how the teams stack up, and one squad returns on top of the Mac Mountain. Here's more.
The opening weekend of the soccer season will have a MAC doubleheader and some non-conference games. The West Valley girls, who finished as the conference runner-ups last season, will play Wasilla in their opener on Friday, while Lathrop and North Pole will have a doubleheader. The West Valley boys will play Allison on Friday as well. The Hutchinson Hawks soccer teams will start their seasons next week. Allison and Monroe will field boys teams this season. And for the first time in a long time, the Lathrop girls soccer team will be in the crosshairs of opponents. They open MAC play this Friday at 5:30 against North Pole. Last season, the Malamutes went undefeated with a 9-0-2 record and won their first MAC title since 2007. This could be the making of a dynasty, given that all the girls are back, including All-State midfielder Carly Fitzgerald and goalie Michaela Triplehorn, who had 8 shutouts last year. And they only have 1 senior on the roster. But they know it'll be hard to repeat as MAC champs, let alone extend their unbeaten streak.
I mean, we definitely do kind of feel the pressure. We just know everyone's going to be wanting to beat us since they didn't beat us last year. But, I mean, it's going to be a tough game, so we just know we're going to have to play as hard as we can every game.
It's going to be even tougher this season. Anytime you win, that just puts an even bigger target on your back. So we're using that as our motivation to make sure we're putting in the time, putting in the effort, and hopefully we can have at least a semblance of repeated success that we had last year.
The big star of the interior soccer season openers isn't going to be a player, team, or even a coach. It's actually going to be a facility. The Fairbanks Youth Soccer Association complex has installed new turf fields last year. They'll be ready to go this Friday for the interior soccer season openers at 5:30. And last chance to get in your votes for the Kraft Hockeyville contest and help the Big Dipper Ice Arena. You can vote online at krafthockeyville.com. That's Kraft with a K. You can text the word Dipper to 35350, and you can call 1-855-255-5975 to vote. You can vote 50 times per method. Now, the voting ends tonight at 7:59 p.m. Alaska time, so not that much time left getting those votes. The Dipper could get $150,000 in arena upgrades if they are to win the grand prize, but they have to advance to the Final Four, which will be announced this Saturday. And that's it for sports tonight. Mike Schultz is next with your full weather forecast, and we'll catch you next time.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back into our Thursday night edition of the newscast. Time once again for weather. Mike Schultz with you, talking about today. Wasn't all that bad. We had a few clouds here and there, and temperatures right around the 47-degree mark. We're looking at 50-degree temperatures to continue into the weekend. We could possibly even see a 60-degree temperature if things work out right. I'll tell you more about that in just a little bit. Our photograph sent in by Nancy Hummel. She was at Kramer's Field yesterday for Tax Day. As you can see there, a beautiful day it was across the interior. A couple of trumpeter swans here, I should say. And then we have some geese down here. And as always, if you have a photograph that you want to share, by all means, send it to photos@ktvf11.com, and we'll share it with the rest of the audience. Your numbers look like this. Today's high 47, currently 45 degrees, 22 for the low last night. Record high was 61. That was set in 2012, but in 1914, it dropped down to 12 degrees below zero. Now your sunrise and sunset, almost 15.5 hours of daylight. That's a gain of 7 minutes from yesterday. On the satellite and radar, once again, that area of low pressure still hanging around there, not moving much, which means the flow from the south continues. And it also means the Alaska Range is blocking out all that moisture. It's all happening around the Anchorage Bowl and the Kenai Peninsula. Also, over southeast Alaska, more rain continues to fall there. As you can see on the map, it is raining continuously from Juneau right on down to Ketchikan. A few scattered showers in the Anchorage Bowl and around Kodiak Island. Cloudy skies along the Aleutian chain at Cold Bay. And then up and down the west coast, temperatures once again variable and then cooling down as you get near Nome. 15 degrees for the high there. Barrow at 4 degrees. But for Yukon, up to 41 degrees. Lots of sunshine too. That's good news. On the lower 48 weather, well, once again, we have nice weather over the western half of the country. Temperatures 80 degrees in San Francisco. Wow, that's beautiful. That's warmer than it was in Las Vegas. How about that? More thunderstorms around the Texas area. Chilling down in Denver, 35 degrees. They could see some snow tonight. They can't get rid of winter. And Minneapolis, in contrast, 73 degrees. So when you get a contrast in temperatures there, that's when you get the thunderstorms really breaking out and developing. In fact, you can see them on the satellite and radar. There's the area of low pressure bringing the snow to the Rockies. While again, down to the south, a lot of moisture moving off the Gulf of Mexico and clashing with this area of low pressure, helping to develop some severe weather. Now, what it all means is there is going to be afternoon thunderstorms, some of those severe in much of Texas tomorrow, moving eastward. Now to the west, it'll be just cool with, again, that light snow possible in the Rockies. And as far as the overall jet stream, again, yesterday, as I said, this thing is really taking a big dive way down to the south. And that means there's some severe weather is definitely going to be breaking out over much of the central portions of the country and the deep south over the weekend. So it's going to be kind of nasty there. All right, back to Alaska's weather. For the northern sections, partly cloudy at Barrow, mostly sunny skies at Nome, and some rain and snow in Fort Yukon. Here in the interior, we'll be looking at, for the most part, becoming partly cloudy for Fairbanks and Healy, mostly sunny skies at Delta. While over southeast Alaska, there's the rainfall, cloudy with rain showers for Juneau and Ketchikan, and over to the southwest, looking at partly cloudy skies at Bethel, rain and snow at Cold Bay, and rain for Kodiak. And still wet down around the Anchorage Bowl. And as Anchorage, will be looking at some snow showers, and Valdez also snow showers, cloudy skies at Homer. Time once again for our kids' weather. And all this week we've been talking with the kids. Oh, real quickly, the Nenana Ice Classic update. The ice thickness is not known right now, but the ice is from bank to bank and no holes yet in the Nenana River is still frozen. So I guess that's a good sign. All right, real quickly, we're looking at short-range forecast. First of all, real quickly, let's go to our kids' weather. And tonight we'll hear from the teacher with an interesting weather fact.
Hi, I'm Mr. Dixon, and this is my 4th grade class at Badger Road Elementary in North Pole, Alaska. We have a weather fact to share with you today. Did you know that the warmest temperature ever on Earth was 134 degrees in Death Valley, California. That's hot enough to fry an egg on the sidewalk.
Wow. Pretty interesting. Hey, look at the 5-day outlook. Like I said yesterday, we're looking at temperatures to mid to upper 50s all the way across the board, and overnight lows will also be in the 30s. No precipitation expected. And like I said, don't be surprised if we see a 60-degree reading, because the winds are expected to really turn more southerly, which means a lot of warm air coming into the Alaska area, and it'll be very interesting to see that happen this weekend.
Perfect, Mike. Couldn't call for better weather for that. That's great. Okay, we have run out of time. So from all of us here at the News Center, we hope to see you back at 11. Good night.
Good night.